Hello, 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 hello. Hey, oh, you guys didn't see anything. Hi. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, hello, hi. I'm very tired today. I don't know why. Like, as soon as I sat down on my PC, I was like, okay, it's time to be eepy. Excuse me. But, yeah. We're doing art stream today. Going to be fun. I have, like, some semblance of a plan for what we're gonna do today, but I also left it very open-ended. Mainly because, we're going to be designing, like, a brand new Fakemon today. Like, I don't have anything planned for this. Like, I know I have a list of, like, over 100 mons that need designs. But we're starting a new one today because I feel like I feel like we're missing this like category of Pokemon from our region, and I feel like it needs one. Like I think we need more like early game normal types because we have Mascoon, but like that's it. And I feel like we're missing out on like the normal type real estate. Especially like pure normal types, because you've got like your Cathalos and you've got your app tweets, but they are also like dual type, and even Masculine doesn't stay pure normal; it becomes a fairy type. So I'm just like, we need a pure normal type. So that's what we're gonna do today. And I'm going to swap screens real quick. Hold on. Whoop. Here we go. And I thought I'd write out a couple guidelines, you know? I feel like we need some guidelines for this because I have a very specific like type of design in mind, but it's still very just like open-ended, so I don't actually know what the end product is going to look like yet. Basically, there's a couple rules we gotta follow. So number one, right? Boop. This creature is going to be not. I need to like work on my handwriting. Wow. Gonna be not an animal, okay? We're not gonna base it on an animal. We don't want a rabbit, we don't want a squirrel, we don't want a raccoon, we don't want a bear, we don't want a giraffe, right? We want just like a thing, like a critter. It's not gonna be like, I don't know. It leaves it very much open-ended, but it's going to be not an animal, right? Number two. Whoop. Number two rule is it's going to be like, whoop. It's gonna be a status inflictor. Right? So its main thing is you're gonna encounter it, and it's gonna do something to you. It's either gonna paralyze you, or it's going to put you to sleep. Hi, Kato! How are you? I'm doing great today. I'm just a little sleepy. How are you doing today? I'm going over, the guidelines for what we're going to be making today. And I hope you're having a good day, too. Doing great? Ooh, that's great to hear. Always good to be doing great, you know what I mean? But yeah, we're gonna be designing a thing today, okay? And I haven't really gotten far into explaining what this thing's gonna be like. But so far I've highlighted we're going to make it not an animal, okay? So it's not going to be this Fakemon is not going to be based on an animal. Hydrate. Hi Yuna, how are you? But yeah, this thing's not gonna be a giraffe, it's not gonna be a bear, it's not gonna be a squirrel, it's not gonna be any of those things. It's not gonna be like based on a creature that exists. You're really tired, but I'll still be in chat. That makes 2 of us. That's so cool. And then also, this guy's gonna be a status inflictor. He's gonna either put you to sleep, or he's gonna paralyze you, or he's gonna poison you. Probably not poison, because it would be weird if a pure normal type was the poison guy. And this Fakemon will do a bat maybe, but not the animal one. We have enough bats. We have the 2 and then the furry. Alright. Number 3. And this is an obvious one, but I feel like it still needs to be said. That is not an E. What is that? Whoop. This thing's going to be a pure normal type. Pure normal type, all the way through. And probably 2-stage as well. I don't think I want to make it a 3-stage normal type, because we already have a 3-stage normal type. That being, Slugglue, if you remember Slugglue. Pure normal, right? Because it occurred to me earlier that I'm like, wait a second. We don't have, like, any 2-stage lines that are pure normal type. Because, like, we have Mascoon, but he becomes a fairy type. We have Aptweep, but he's also a grass type. We have Slugglue, but he's 3-stage, and, like, a fishing encounter. And I'm like, we don't have any pure normal types that can just appear in the grass, right? Maybe a carpet? Exactly, like, that's... Okay, you know, you've, like, encapsulated the energy that I need for this stream, like, perfectly. Like, we just need, like, things, right? Except I'm going to add a caveat to that, which is number 4. This thing should be able to exist in, whoop! I'll just write it like this, actually. In... Found in most habitats. Furret, that's a 2-stage normal type, right? Yeah, kind of like that. But not quite, because Furret is based on an animal, and we don't want it to be based on an animal. Whoop! And when I say found in most habitats, I mean, you'll look at it, and you'll be able to be like, that probably, you'd like, look at the Mon, and then look at, like, an area of the map, and be like, yeah, that'd be reasonable if it was here, I think. For, like, most of the... Not all of the region, but, like, most of the region, you know? A human. And then... let's see here. Number 5. Number 5. The last rule. Whoop. This Pokemon needs to be slightly annoying. Pants, those are everywhere. True. This is the kind of suggestions I like. So, you might be thinking Neon. So we have these rules, but they're kind of really open-ended and kind of don't they don't hit me in the inspiration like they should be, right? And if you're like that, you're just like me, because I made these rules for myself, and I've been trying, and I've been just like going through ideas in my head, like, what if there's a Pokemon and his whole gimmick is that he just has dandruff and that's it? Or what if there's a Pokemon and he when he breathes, it like creates like a force field around him and that's it? Or like, what if there's a Pokemon and like when he walks, it like I don't know. Is this, you know what I mean? And a big roadblock, surprisingly, has been this. It's like, how can I make a convincing Mon that's supposed to status inflict, right? So, what I'm gonna do is I am going to lay out a few examples of the kind of Pokemon that I'm thinking about, you know? I feel like a few examples would be nice. What if it's just a Pokemon, but it's really, really normal? Exactly, exactly. So, when I'm thinking of these Pokemon, the first thing that comes to mind, right? Whoop. Whoop. This is the first thing that comes to mind when I think of a Pokemon like this. Are there even normal type status moves? It doesn't necessarily have to be. But this is the first Pokemon that comes to mind when I think of a Pokemon that fits all of these guidelines, right? And yes, that already exists. I'm giving examples of like Pokemon that are like this. And I'm going to try and draw these to the best of my ability, except I may not remember what most of them are going to be like. What's another one? Whoop. Whoop. He's got like a little hair like that, I guess. Whoop. He kind of looks like this, right, chat? We get your Apalms, right? And maybe make my channel creature Gremlin would fit perfectly. Maybe. That's kind of what Apalm looks like, right? My sleep paralysis demon. What else? What else is there? Whoop. I think you draw like this. Whoop. Boop, boop, boop. We got our Skitties, right? These are the kind of Pokemon I'm thinking of. Like, not like your Route 1, like your Rattata or your Sentret or whatnot. I'm thinking of more like, you get a little bit into the game, and then these guys become available, right? This is not what Apalm looks like, by the way. Do not look at Apalm. Now, I will say that a few of these do not fit the category perfectly. Jigglypuff does not have that. For example, these two, right? These two right here. They fail to fit the not animal category because Skitty is a kitty and Apalm is a monkey, right? We're looking more for stuff like Jigglypuff because Jigglypuff is not an animal. I mean, Jigglypuff's like supposed to be a balloon, right? But he kind of just isn't. He's kind of just like a thing, you know? Like, sure, Jigglypuff can inflate a little bit and like become bigger, I guess. But then you get to Wigglytuff, and it's like, it just doesn't do that anymore, and it's just kind of a creature that isn't really based on anything. And that's what I'm going for here. Found in most habitats, because let's be honest, if you look at these three Pokemon, you're like, okay, you could probably find Jigglypuff in, like, a forest. You could probably find Jigglypuff, like, in a mountainy area. You could probably find Jigglypuff, like, in, like, a field, you know? Just draw something really, really random. Yes. Same deal with Apom. In the Johto region, you can find Apom in, like, most headbutt trees, I think. Like, around the entire region, if I'm not mistaken. It might be in some areas, but, like, most of the time you're gonna be like, yeah, you could probably find Apom here. Skitty's kind of an exception, because Skitty is, like... You only really find Skitty in one area in the Hoenn region. Which is not exactly what I'm going for, but, the fact is that these Pokemon encapsulate the energy of what I want to make. What else is there? Oh yeah, as for the status inflictor stuff, we should go over that. So obviously, Jigglypuff sings, right? Puts you to sleep. Skitty's got attract, and also sing. Right? And then Apom doesn't really have anything. Apom's more of like an offensive thing. I mean, Apom does get Tickle, right? But most of the time you're going to be attacking with Apom, right? Basically, I'm not looking for an attacker. I'm looking for just like a thing that just annoys you and then runs away. Think like Wobbuffet, but not nearly as bad. You know? Actually, Wobbuffet's a great example of this. Hold on. Whoop. He's got, like, arms like this. Whoop. Wobbuffet's kind of just like a thing, right? I get he's supposed to be a punching bag. But, like, he kind of just exists. He kind of just exists, and he's kind of just a blue blob, right? And he's not really... He doesn't really look like a punching bag, even though, you know, he's like the clap back Pokemon. He just hits back harder. Make a circle, put triangles in there, and then put rectangles somewhere, and then make an oval, and then you just give it eyes and you're done. Dude, imagine like a Picasso painting Pokemon. Like... Whoop! And then we put an oval. And then just like that, we've created the Porygon Z Pokemon. We've created Bill Cipher. We could create like the schizophrenia Pokemon, where it's like the faces you see when you're schizo. You know? Just like a normal type. Also, Unknown is kind of a good example of this. I guess I'll add Unknown here. Whoop. Whoop. Boo. Make a triangle, but make it purely 2D and yellow, and give it a big silly hat and a big eye. You're so right. That would be so original and cool, and wouldn't get me in trouble. Unknown's a pretty good example of just like a thing, you know? Are there any other... Okay, this is the part, where I ask chat, are there any other existing Pokemon that are kind of just, like, a thing, or, like, a guy, that kind of fit this category of just guys that are just a little bit annoying, and you can find them probably just about anywhere. You guys got any ideas? Because this is what I think of when I think of this kind of Pokemon. I'm trying to think of other ones, though. I'm thinking Rotom for some reason, but I don't think Rotom really works, because you can't... Rotom's, like... I mean, you could probably find Rotom in, like, most places, especially... since Sword and Shield came out, because you can just, like, find Rotom when it's thunderstorming in that game. And it doesn't really have to be... I guess it's just in one area in that game, but you know what I mean? Let's see. Minccino, also. Whoop. I don't know how to draw Minccino. He's got, like, the hair like that. Whoop. Whoop. Tangela, maybe? It could be Tangela. What does Minccino look like? Like this? This is like kind of what Minccino looks like. And he's got like the tail that's like this. Tangela, maybe? Zigzagoon? Zigzagoon's good. The only problem with Zigzagoon is he's like the regional rodent. And that's why I think, he might not fit the category as well as the other normal types. Because even though Zigzagoon's a very good, suggestion, we kind of already have the slot for Zigzagoon filled. Like, the mirror to Zigzagoon, if you will. In the form of Mascoon, right? So that is a good suggestion, but I hope you understand why I feel like he gets excluded from this list. You know what I mean? Tangela is also good. Tangela is kind of just like a thing. He kind of just is like... I can't even draw Tangela. There's Tangela. And Tangela's got like Wrap and Bind and stuff. Those are annoying moves. Let's see. I should add the annoying bits of all of these guys. Boop, boop. Boop, boop. I know this guy's got like Tidy Up or something. There's a move called like Tidy Up. It gets rid of like hazards. Tail Slap. Destiny Bond. Hidden Power. Hidden Power is annoying because it's a different type every time. Chimecho's pretty good. I like Chimecho in this context. Whoop. What does Chimecho do, though? I don't actually know what Chimecho does. Tidy Up even gets rid of Substitute? Really? Boop boop. I think Chimecho looks something like that, right? Does Chimecho have any cool stuff that he does? Dunsparce could work. Dunsparce is a weird normal type thing. I'm running out of space though. Let's see here. Can I resize? How do I resize? Canvas size. Let's make it... Let's increase by 1,000. There we go. Boop. Boop, boop, boop. Also, off topic, but the music on my end feels louder today. Does it feel louder for anybody else? Whoop. Let's see. How do I draw Dunsparce? Yeah. How do I draw Dunsparce? Dunsparce is like... He's got like the drill in the back. And like that kind of deal. You can clearly hear me? Okay. I'm sure Dunsparce has other stuff as well, but this is kind of like the bulk of what he looks like. Whoop. Dunsparce does fit the category very well, though, of just like a guy, like a creature that's annoying, because Dunsparce has got Yawn, and he's got Rollout. Oh, Jigglypuff's got Rollout too, actually. Whoop. Meloetta, I feel like Meloetta gets excluded solely because of the fact that it's a mythical, but it does, I will still draw Meloetta, because that is just like a thing, not really based on anything. Chat, how do you draw Meloetta? Goomy maybe as well? Maybe. I feel like Goomy maybe not as much, because he's the pseudo-legendary. Woo! 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 It's got like the notes and stuff. And then the earpiece. Goomy is... Yeah, Goomy's the pseudo-legendary, because he turns into Goodra. Woo! I don't know what Meloetta's clothes look like. They're just like dark. There's Meloetta. Goodra is also not too good. I really like Goodra. I used Hisuian Goodra in Legends Arceus, and I used regular Goodra in Scarvio. I don't know. This kind of looks like a Meloetta, I guess. And then you got the pirouette form, which I have no idea how to draw. These are from memory, by the way. I don't have like a thing pulled up on the side. But yeah, I feel like we've got a pretty good grasp on like the things that like these Pokemon do, right? Like they all have some annoying thing that they do, like they trap you or they put you to sleep. Or they mess with your stats. And they all fit into at least, like, 2 or 3 of these categories, right? Should also draw Snom, just because. Snom does not fit into the category, but I can draw Snom. Snom can be down here. Here we go, there's Snom. But yeah, I feel like the way we should go about this is we should kind of like take some design elements that these guys all have in common, and then kind of like iterate on them. You know what you know? Wi-Fi just died. Oh no. Poor Wi-Fi. But yeah, I think the number one thing I see with all of these guys that we just drew, right? I'm seeing a lot of round shapes, so that's something we should take note of. I guess we can do that over here. Whoop! Gotta go now because I can't watch on mobile data. Aww. Oh well, that's sad. But I hope you have a good night, Yuna, and I hope you get your Wi-Fi figured out. Thanks for stopping in though, I appreciate it. Let's see here. Okay, so number one thing, round, right? Number two, which I didn't even mean to do this. You'll come back once Wi-Fi is back? Alright, bet. Number two, if you look through the middle of our drawings here, which I didn't even mean to do, all of these guys have like the closed eyes, which could be something we incorporate. They all have like the little slit eyes, you know? We could do something with that, maybe? Boop. They also have, a lot of them have tails, which is another thing, like, but like non-standard tails. They're all very unique from each other. Like, for example, Dunsparce has a drill, Skitty has like a cat toy, Apom's just a whole hand, Wobbuffet's tail is like its whole other thing. Hi Taco, how is the guy making? The guy making, we're still in our like planning phase, right? We're taking a bunch of existing Pokemon, right? And we're finding like that kind of fit into the category of Mon that we're making. And we're taking a bunch of like ideas and we're like brainstorming basically, right? Cuz at the start of stream I made this list, right? Which is our like guidelines, right? This Pokemon's not going to be based on an animal. He's going to deal a lot with like status moves. He's going to be pure normal type. He's going to be found in most places, and he's going to be kind of annoying. So we took all of those things and we kind of made a list of Pokemon. And we're kind of just like finding like what all of these guys have in common, you know? And then we're gonna use all of those things that they have in common as, like, inspiration for our design, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? This is how I designed Pokemon, like, Nougat. If you remember a previous art stream, I drew our, like, Chansey kind of, like our version of, like, the Chansey or the Audino. And I used this same kind of process to design that Pokemon as well. Because, when it comes to making Fakemon that are not based off of, like, any specific thing, like, if you make a Fakemon that's not based on, like, an animal, and it's not based on, like, an object, it becomes instantly more difficult to, like, come up with ideas, because you have nothing to, like, go off of. So by doing this exercise where we like look at existing designs and find things that they all like have in common, it gives us something to go off of, you know? And I found it very helpful in the past. But going back to that, of the mons that are not based on animals, of this list, we have Jigglypuff, Meloetta, Tangela, Unknown, and Chimeshow, and Wobbuffet as well. I think I should add to this bullet point closed eyes or focus on eyes. Because with Pokemon like Tangela, the focus is the eyes because they're like poking out. Same with Unknown, because like the only thing that all the Unknowns have in common is their big eye. Same with Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff's got gigantic eyes that you'd recognize from like anywhere. Apom and Minccino less so. And of course you get the row of like the little anime, you know, the closed eyes as well. Meloetta's just kind of here, to be honest. I don't think Meloetta has much going for it in terms of like its facial features. But then again, I could have just like forgotten something with Meloetta, because I don't actually know what Meloetta looks like, and I just drew it from memory. I'm gonna add unique tail to this, because that is another thing. Like, Apom's got the hand, Minccino's got, like, the broom, Wobbuffet's got, like, a whole other guy, Skitty's got the guitar. I think we went over this already. But there's also Chimeshow. I guess you could count this as a tail, if you, like, really tried. You know? It's kind of like a piece of paper, I guess. Tangela doesn't really have a tail. Okay, you know what my mind goes to immediately when I see these three things? Which, I don't know if this will work for like a normal type, but what I think of is I think of something that kind of goes along the lines of... You're back. Welcome back, Yuna. Whoop. He's kind of like... Whoop. It kind of reminds me of like a tadpole almost. You know, like Poliwag? I feel like Poliwag we could add to this list, definitely. Whee. I don't know how to draw a tadpole. He's kind of got his tail. Woo. And he's got like the bottom half of the tail that's like the fins. How about a hand puppet? That's a frog? Yeah, kind of like this. And we could put Poliwag here. This could be Poliwag. I'm actually going to draw Poliwag right now because I think he fits the category as well. How about a hand puppet? I have a great... Okay, so here's the thing. Hand puppet? I will come back to hand puppet, because I actually have something for that. Whoop. Woo. There's Poliwag. He's kind of really big. Can you shoot that thing? Yeah, go ahead. Let me pull up Do, 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 do. Let's see here. Let me pull up another normal type line, which I have came up with, and I actually posted to Twitter a while ago. Bounky. This is an example of a normal type that stays pure normal type that I designed. And I based this one off of a sock monkey, which is it kind of is like a hand puppet, right? And this is a Pokemon that'll be like mid to late game. Kind of like he's kind of designed to be like a Tyrogue, where he'll have a split evolution based on his stats, you know? But he's basically like a sock monkey Pokemon. And that's why I reacted like that when you said hand puppet, because I actually already had a Fakemon designed that was kind of based off of a hand puppet. So I think that's really cool, because that means our brains are in the same kind of place, you know? Which is good. Excuse me. How would you hand puppet with this monkey? That's the thing, you wouldn't. He's his own guy. And he kind of has the physics as if he's made out of like plush. Cause like his arms are like squishy, like it's like a beanbag kind of consistency. You know what I mean? If you've ever like held a beanbag, you know what I mean. Where it's kind of like a little malleable, but not really. Hold on. Give me a second. You can throw them around and do whatever. Kind of. Pretty much. Okay. Let's see. I hope you guys didn't hear my Steam notifications go off. But this is kind of what we're going for. But like less animal shaped and more just like creature, you know? We can have this be our reference sheet. So really high special defense? Maybe. Think more like jack of all trades, master of none type deal, where they'll be able to learn like psychic and like thunderbolt and like grass knot and like all sorts of coverage, but not really be good at it. They won't really be. Excuse me. They won't really be like strong, you know? Like Wigglytuff, because Wigglytuff can do all that. You gotta call him Jack then. One of the auto nicknames is just a Jack. Boop. Whoop. Boop. So, with all this in mind, we need to get to work on just creating a creature. Maybe a jester-like Pokemon then? Maybe. There is a scrapped Fakemon design. I should highlight, there's a scrapped Fakemon. It's not even a design, because it didn't have a design. But, it was a normal type, named, Jackville. And it was based off of a jackalope, or a jackalope, I think. And it was a normal type where it could kind of just like, I don't know, I don't remember what its gimmick was, but it did something. And we ended up scrapping it because I don't remember why, but it got scrapped. But we kind of need like, hold on, let me bring Bounky over here. Whoop. Let's close Bounky. How do I... Hello? I don't know how to use this program, chat. I got this program like a couple months ago. Whatever, Bounky can just be here. I think the first step is just making something round, right? We can start with... We could also use the Pokemon body types. We could do like... Because the Pokemon body types have like a few things, right? They kinda... I don't know if you've ever seen these. But in the Pokédex, if you look, you can like sort the Pokédex by like a body shape, and you can like filter. Start with the eyes and make your way through. That's a good point. So first of all, we need to figure out if we want to make like Jigglypuff style eyes or more like Wobbuffet, like kind of skitty Dunsparce Wobbuffet eyes. Because we could go full throttle and be like, wow! And like make the eyes the main focus. Hold on, I should draw this on a separate layer. I'd say like a mix. How would a mix work? I'm curious. Because we could do big eyes like this, right? Whoop. And it'd be like, yay! But then that just looks like Jigglypuff, right? Could do half-closed eyes? Maybe. We could do like Stoner Jigglypuff. Hold on. I actually kind of like this idea. Whoop. I can't draw in a straight line, chat. What's wrong with me? The drug addict Pokemon. Well, we can't say that because then it'll be no longer E10 plus. Not that that's the goal. Half-closed eyes Pokemon. I need to make this smaller. Hold on. It's taking up the whole screen. Whoop. The grass addict Pokemon. Yeah, he just sniffs Aptweet and it's like, ooh, aroma. Give me my brush back. He could be like a slime from Slime Rancher. This is just like a blob, the glue stick addict. Yeah, I'm sorry. This Pokemon's been sniffing glue, so he won't listen to you anymore. We've made a Pokemon that's addicted to... This Pokemon's addicted to permanent marker. Except we can't do permanent marker, because that's Jigglypuff. You know what I mean? We could give it like a really... We could give it like a really, like... This thing looks like it would wear eyeshadow right now. Like, I'm being honest. This thing looks like it would it would show up to a party with like 10 pounds of makeup. Final Evo will just be removed to it. True, it's circular, it has the closed eyes. Just like that, we have Rimuru. But if I make it more circular, it becomes Jigglypuff. If I can... Whee! Whee! You know? I'm gonna put this up in the corner, and we can explore more ideas like this. How about that? Except I'm gonna do it on a smaller scale. Let's see here. We could start with a circle. If I can draw a circle, and then we add a stripe, and all of a sudden we get Riboy. Another idea, drag Gremlin, but actually good art. I need to see a picture of Gremlin, actually. Where is Gremlin? Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Because I've seen the Gremlin image before, but I don't remember what it looks like. Excuse me. Boo doo boo doo boo 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 boo. Gremlin. Hold on, let me draw a rendition of Gremlin real quick. Gremlin. I do like the idea of this Pokemon being just like a absolute goblin. Like, it's just annoying. Like, if your next door neighbor has one of these, you're filing a restraining order type of Pokemon. You know what I mean? What if he's built like a peanut? Like this shape. A child. Whoop. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna continue with the idea of like the really big eyes. Boom, boop, 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 boop. Whoop, whoop. Right? Make the eyes abnormally large. Yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan. What if... Hold on. We can make Slow Celine Garten of Ban Ban. And then we give it a tail because it needs to have a unique tail. Wait. What if this is its tail? Whoop. And it's got a tail that kind of looks like this. And it kind of goes down. And then its body is down here. And it's just like... Except, you know. We need to make it, like, weird. Whoop. Do you connect it like this? If I can make a circle. Like, imagine just finding one of these. Like, this almost doesn't look like a Pokemon. You know what I mean? I don't know. I saw that I'd kick it and recoil from touching it. Exactly. You know, Hatena? That's kind of what I imagine when I see this thing. I don't know what Hatena looks like. It's kind of like this. Hold on. Its body kind of flips like that. Boop. Hatena's another great example of like a Pokemon that kind of fits this category of just like weird thing. You know what I mean? And I feel like this fits weird thing, but I don't think it looks like a Pokemon. So we're gonna swap to a different idea. Which is this face. We can try the skitty face. It kind of has these sort of eyes. Whee! All the way around. I don't know. I don't know how to do details. What if it was like floating? I don't think it would work if it was floating. Let's refer back to this, honestly. Excuse me. They all seem to have some sort of, like, little fun detail that's, like, not super noticeable at first, but, like, on some of them it's super noticeable, but on others, it's like, Minccino has the little colors at the top of its ears, or Wobbuffet's got its, like, the back of its head peeling back or whatever. You know? It needs to be interesting to look at. And this is where I struggle. Because I don't know what I'm doing. What if instead of a face, it had something different? Or it had like a non-standard, like, face. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about, chat. Can you tell? I guess we could start by being like, okay, let's take a step back. It looks like Nyaromon, but with feet. Let's take a step back, okay? And let's look at number 2. Because I feel like this is holding us back right here. Right? And that is, we don't know which specific status this thing is going to do. Right? And I think, if we know, like, what kind of move it's going to get, like, whether it's going to get Hypnosis, or Sing, or, like, Glare, or Wrap, or whatever, I feel like that'll help narrow down our options. Because, for example, if I were to go in and look at the Pokemon we have, right? Let's just go through and see, like, what kind of status we have. We've got Mascoon, which doesn't really do any kind of status. Neither does Hatchick. The Rufant line has Infestation, which is, like, their kind of signature thing. Dynafly doesn't really have anything. Cafalo does, like, Mud Sport and Water Sport. I don't think Aptweet has much. Jakute and Kubrick have Paralysis, so maybe we don't do Paralysis, since Jakute and Kubrick are both meant to be, like, early game Pokemon. So maybe they can be, like, the ones that inflict Paralyze, right? So we have Paralyze. We can mark that one off. We don't need that. We've got Fluffrost, which does Frozen. So we don't need any... We don't need, like, Freezing Mons. Mobineral doesn't really do anything. Chirpera and Vampira are paralysis and poison respectively, but they're kind of like later on. You know, I would say they're like, you'd get them like after like a couple gyms, you know? You would start finding Chirpera, Vampira. And also it's only one per game. So you either get paralysis or you get poison. So maybe we could do poison? But I don't see how we could do a Pokemon that inflicts poison without making a poison type. So maybe we do... What other statuses are there? There's Burn. And there's, Sleep. So maybe we do Sleep. Maybe we do a Mon that, like, does Hypnosis or Sing. I think that would be a reasonable... Confusing and Sleep? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Hypnosis. We could do Supersonic. Actually, Chirpera and Vampira might learn Supersonic. I don't actually remember. I'd have to check. Sing. Sing could be interesting. Or we could also do, Attract. I spelled that wrong. I think these primary four are what we're going to be focusing on. I think we can pick either Hypnosis or Sing depending on if we want the Mon to actually be like a singing Pokemon. We could also give Sing to Mascoon. That's something we could do. We could go back and we could give Sing to Mascoon because that makes sense because he's a singer. And then we could do Hypnosis, Supersonic, you know? I really hope Gravel's Extended Battles gets an update soon. I do more types and moves. I haven't seen like anything for Gravel's Extended Battles. I don't even think I've heard of it before. Does it do what kind of cool stuff does that? Sounds interesting though. So maybe we could do something that's like hypnotic almost. And we could look for like hypnotic imagery. And use that as like a kind of like base for what we're doing, you know? So maybe something to do with like a spiral or like bright colors. Best Cobblemon add-on if you want an immense amount of new content. Oh, okay. I'll actually look into that later. I'm curious. Because if you look up Hypnosis imagery on Google, primarily what you're going to be getting is just like the black and white spiral, which doesn't help much. Because Poliwhirl already exists and he already gets Hypnosis, right? And we can't really do like a stopwatch either because Hypno already does that. Maybe we could do like a Pokemon that like meditates, but not Meditite. Adds new types, moves, and everything for that. That's actually sick. Excuse me. We could do like a meditating Pokemon that doesn't do anything except for it like hypnotizes you if you look at it. We could do like the Mesmer from Subnautica, you know? If anybody knows what I'm talking about, or just in case people don't know what I'm talking about, I'll draw the Mesmer right now. It kind of goes like this. And it's got these four, like, fins, kind of, that go back, like... Right? It kind of looks like that. And then when it's attacking you, it looks directly at you. And it kind of opens its things up, and it, like, flashes patterns at you, you know? And it also warps your perception of, like, sounds and whatnot. It's also got a mouth. So maybe we could do something like that. Who knows? The biggest issue, I think, is I want to keep it a normal type, and I don't want it to, like, become, like, a psychic type on accident, you know? Because if we go too far into the, like, confusion, hypnosis stuff, it'll have to be a psychic type. So maybe we refer back to here. I think Dunsparce is a pretty good example, honestly. Dunsparce does a lot of what we need, I think. It's got a cool design. It has yawn, so it can put you to sleep. It's got annoying attacking moves, you know? And I'm thinking this thing is going to be, like... Maybe not like this. Maybe it wouldn't just be a straight-up ball, right? Because... we already have plenty of Fakemon in our roster that are just straight-up balls. And we don't need any more of that. Hypno, maybe? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like... we can't go too far into the hypnosis stuff. Again. Let's see. I could Google... Boop. We could do things that can induce hypnosis, right? That's something we could do. We could do, like... The more I think about it, the more I'm like, wait a second. We already have Pokemon like this, because... Number one, we've got, like, imagery and stuff, right? So just, like, putting the person, or Pokemon in this case, in a place where it's like they feel relaxed and whatnot. And then we have like pacing and rhythm, which, like, we already have a few music themed Pokemon. Like, we have Mascoon, and I'm sure there's more that I'm just forgetting about. But we definitely have that. And then we have... Let's see. We have, like, incense as well that you can use, I'm pretty sure. Which, like, we already have the incense Pokemon, which is Aptweet. So maybe what we could do is a Pokemon that takes all of these things that the other Pokemon do. Because literally, like, half of the early game Pokemon just, like, have elements that are used in Hypnosis, just, like, passively, right? So maybe we could have a Pokemon that just takes those things and just flips it back on, like, those Pokemon. So, like, if an Aptweet, like, has, like, a sweet aroma around it, but a Pokemon with a custom moveset, well, I do plan to eventually give most of my Pokemon lines, like, a signature move that it's, like, custom. But I don't think I want to do, like, a full custom moveset. I think I want to keep the move pool, like, mostly vanilla. We could do a mon that, like, takes, like, the voice of Mascoon and just, like, flips it and uses it back on it to, like, hypnotize it. Or it uses the smells from Aptweet and it flips the smells back on it and uses it in its, like, hypnosis. You know what I mean? Or it could, like, mimic those things. So maybe it could also learn Mimic. We could do that, actually. Hold on, let's write a move list. Whoop. We could do Copycat. We could do Mimic. What other moves are like that, you know? Hi, Koishi. How are you? You seem a little intense today. I hope everything's going all right. We could also, you know what? We could also give it Magic Bounce. You know? You got a little scared there. Oh, gotcha. So it'll just be Mimikyu? Not necessarily. Because Mimikyu just is a disguise. He doesn't, like, steal stuff and use it against you. Have your mysterious shareholders gotten back to me yet? No, they haven't. Unfortunately. But I'm glad that you are making sure I remember to, like, get back to them. Boom, 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 boom. Did you actually float them the idea, or are you bully? No, I did tell him about it. I meant Mimikyu as a joke because he gave him Mimic. Oh, that's fair, that's fair. Let's see here. Imagine if this Pokemon had, like, a mirror, right? Like, imagine this, okay? Here's an idea. Imagine it's on the ground. Right? How about it being a mirror? Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'll just draw it as a blob for now, right? But imagine it's like this, right? And it kind of has this goofy face. Right? But then when it attacks, it kind of like opens up a little bit and it goes meh. And its mouth kind of woo, and it goes like all swirly and whatnot, right? And it's like it's the inside of its mouth just straight up is like it just is a reflection, you know, kind of looks like Mesmer from Subnautica. Yeah, I literally just drew Subnautica Mesmer just like as a reference. And jelly-filled donut, true, kind of like G-Max Gengar. Yeah, where it would open its mouth and then it would this is how it would like use hypnosis and stuff. That's sick, actually. That's really cool. And then like, and then if there was like an app tweet here, for example, the app tweet would like see the there's an app tweet. Hold on. Whoop. What would the Evo be then, though? That's the thing. We need to take this right here and turn it into an actual design and not just a chicken nugget. And then once we do that, we can make like an Evo and stuff, right? Because then it could take like app tweets, like the scent that it gives off, and it could like adopt that and use that smell like as like a hypnotic like incense, you know? Or it could like mimic Mascoon's like singing voice to be like a hypnotic voice instead, you know? That's basically the idea. Here's Mascoon. I know it has the yellow on its eyes. Boop, boop. Boop, boop. Ignore this stuff. This was our planning before. Maybe throw in some tapir feature, so it's like Baku Yokai that gives bad dreams and stuff. What's it? Hold on. Oh, like drowsy, you mean? So that would be interesting, except I have one counterpoint, which I went over at the beginning of stream, and I don't blame you because I haven't gone here yet. These are our five rules of this designing this Pokemon. And number one is it cannot be based off of like an animal. So I would give it tapir features, but we're making it not not an animal. So its move would only affect on normal types? No, it would be able to affect on, it would be able to take like any feature of its target that could be used in like a hypnotic context. It kind of like mimics that and recurses it onto the opponent. Which is why I opted to give it Magic Bounce, because Magic Bounce takes any status moves and just like reflects it back on the attacker, you know? So you can't like growl, and you can't like grudge, and you can't spite, and you can't like, you know? Because it'll just take that and use it against you. It could also get... Hold on. Synchronize. As its other ability, you know? So if it gets paralyzed, you get paralyzed. It's like a messed up Pyukumuku, basically. And you'd be able to find it anywhere. Like, you'd find it in a forest, you'd find it in a ditch, you'd find it in a field, you'd find it on a farm, you'd find it in a city. You'd find it on a mountain. And honestly, at the rate we're going, like, it's very quickly approaching that, like, oh, it's becoming a psychic type. Which is kind of scary, but I'm gonna try to keep it normal for as long as I can. I say lean into the onigiri shape. Yeah, I do like this shape when he opens his mouth. So maybe we capitalize on that. Maybe we give it, like, goofy ears. I'm gonna redraw this thing down here. Whoop. Maybe its eyes could be a little different. Maybe its eyes could be like... like this. That's it screaming. Are you drawing with mouse or do you have too many Red Bulls? This is me trying to use my drawing tablet. Maybe we could give it like, I don't know. Hold on. I think the swirly eyes fit him better. We give him like goofy ears. Whoop. That go down like this. But then when his mouth is closed, it's more like... sounds a lot like a psychic type. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if all else fails and he ends up being a psychic type, then it's kind of whatever. Ears. This is very quickly becoming Eevee, and I don't like it. Maybe we change the ears shape. Maybe they're more like this. Hold on. The shape might not transfer too well into a voxel model. Yeah, I know. That's what the resize tool is for. And, like, we can just get creative with it. I don't know. We could give it, like, whoop. He kind of looks like Strabby from Bug Snacks. A little bit. Like, kind of just a blob of mysticalness, right? That's Samara. What am I doing? Make him a strawberry. We could. But then he'd be a grass type. We could also give him a tail. That's something that our reference mons had in common, was they had cool tails. I also kind of want to give him like 4 legs. I kind of want to make him quadruped. Whoop. I don't know. I hate making quadrupeds. Yeah. That's my idea. I'm making that now. Quadrupeds are different from bipedal Pokemon, which isn't a bad thing. It's just a different design process. When I made my guy, I made him tuck his leggies under his body to levitate when he walked, because I could not figure out how to make them walk normally. It takes practice, I will say that. I think the current issue is, if I do that, it becomes skitty. So... Whoop. See, because that's just skitty. You can't tell me that's not just skitty. And then Delcatty is like... Whoop. Sorry, I'm getting distracted again. Sorry. Whoop, 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 whoop. There's that's like Delcatty's facial structure, at least. Draw Omnom? I don't know how to draw Omnom. Doesn't he have, like, a goofy thing at the top of his head, and he's just like... Isn't this what Omnom looks like? He's, like, so ugly. Draw me! I don't know what you look like, unfortunately. Maybe we make some sort of... He's not ugly. I'm like thinking in my head, because his body shape will be like this, right? And it will become like this. It will just like extend upward. Right? And what we need to worry about is just like the is like the rest of that before we move on to like actually designing an evolution in colors and stuff. Like, what if you can have like little arms? Like, okay, this is just Kirby. You know? I do really want to give him a tail. Like a cool tail. Like... Ooh, what if his tail looked like this? It was like, it was kind of flat, like Poliwags, right? But it had like one big spike like this. I don't really know how to, hold on. Let me make a close up. Keep it a blob with a tail. Its tail would look like this, and then it would go. Maybe more exaggerated, honestly, like this. Where it'd be long on this end but short on this end. I don't know. Something like that. We could also curve it like this. Something to that effect. Give him a top hat, like a carnival dude in a maze of mirrors or something. That could be cool. And just like a... Interesting idea. You know what's crazy? I remembered the other day that we already have a Fakemon that includes a top hat as part of their design, and I just kind of completely forgotten about it for months. Let's see. How can I differentiate this from Kirby? That's my main issue. Maybe we give him like... Maybe we give him like stompers. Or maybe we give him like... Thinking. He needs to look friendly enough to approach and like mess around with, but then at the same time, he'll just like become creepy. You look at the funny little dapper blob and then he attacks and shows you eldritch horrors beyond your comprehension. Yeah, exactly. Exactly that. I think my main issue is I don't know what I want his face details to be like, because I'm fine with him being a blob, but I want him to be a detailed blob. Bro needs a top hat and a cane. Maybe he has like Wobbuffet arms. Except I don't want to make him too similar to Wobbuffet, because he's already got Wobbuffet's face. You know what I mean? And maybe he's got the same kind of, like, motif here. No. How do I want to do this? You can have arms like this, though. That's for sure. Whoop. Kind of like that. And then he can have like little whoop. Whoop. Because the hardest part about designing a new Pokemon is making it look like a Pokemon. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. So I'm trying to make it look like a Pokemon. Whoop. Maybe I could do something like this. Whoop. Where his arms are a different color from his body. Mudkip face. Does he have a Mudkip face? Maybe he kind of does. Whoop. I'm trying to give him a tail in a spot that makes sense. Whoop. Here'd be his shoe. Or his foot or whatever. Whoop. I don't know if this would work in onigiri form, though. I think it looked goofy. We'll see. I still have an idea. Maybe he could hold his tail above his head like this. Whoop. God, I'm so bad at perspective. Whoop. You are bad, such a baddie. Imagine if I was, though. That'd be sick. I wouldn't even have to like draw. I could just like stare at the screen and y'all would subscribe. Not that I need you guys to. I don't care. Well, I do care, but like I don't expect that from you. Whoop. Give him the W face and constantly crying until he attacks and he starts screaming. I could try that. It would give him a unique face. If I were to do like the... like that, those kind of eyes. Like the GIF you sent. Boop. Done sparse. Done sparse. What if it's just details on his face that look like that, though? Like, what if his eyes just have the detail of doing this at the bottom? You know? He's kind of seal reminiscent. And we could do like a side view here. He's got his like hand. Whoop. Whoop, whoop. And he's got like the circle here. Whoop. And then the eyes are like this. Kind of like that. He kind of looks like a fish, not gonna lie. I think he definitely needs feet. But what kind? I think the arms are kinda... You think he needs the Kirby hands? We could try it. If I do that, though, I have to get rid of this because it won't really work as well. If I'm able to move the hands like Jigglypuff can or Kirby can, I can't have like a specific colored area. Because then the hands would be able to leave that area and it would look weird. I think his head just looks kind of empty. I think the more you lean into the crying thing, the better. We could try another drawing like down here. We could do... I definitely like the face. I think the face is sticking. Whoop. Whoop. Yeah, 2 or 3 stage line. Probably 2. I would like to keep it at 2. And then this is just like not actual tears, but like just like a part of his face that looks like that, you know? Ah. Now if I can draw his body in a way that looks flattering and not like disgusting. I came up with another idea, by the way. What if he has brain fog? Or what if his head's in the clouds? I don't know how to really... Okay, never mind. Now he looks like a tomato. I'm not doing that. I think you might run into the problem of over-designing a little bit. Yeah. And I do that a lot, actually. I over-design things a lot, and it's kind of a problem. But it's an issue of either over-designing or making the Pokemon look exactly the same as all of the other Pokemon. And that's like, I can never find like the happy medium between those two extremes. Because I also don't know what to do for his body, because I can't make his feet like this. Because that's Riboy, and I can't make his feet like this. Because that's Mobineral, and I can't make his feet like this. Because that's Timiglis, right? And it's like, where do I go from there, per se? I could do something like... whoop. Whoop. Or maybe, hold on. There's probably a better way of doing this. Whoop. Kind of like that, where he's sitting down. And then you could have like... woo! On the bottom of his feet, you know? But then he turns into this, you know? He looks pathetic in a good way. I think he needs, like, something to adorn the top of his head. I think he's missing an adornment. Why not give him an Eevee tuft? What's an Eevee? Like this? Do 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 boo boo do boo. You know what Eevee looks like? Yes, I do know what Eevee looks like. I don't remember what the top of Eevee's head looks like. Eevee's tuft is just like a crew cut. It's just spikies. It's just like, hold on. The top of Eevee's head is just like this. Like, it's nothing special. I could give this thing ears, though. I did want to give it ears at the beginning. Give it bat ears. Now I can't draw a straight line. Whoop. You know, like that? And then its tail. I imagine the tail would be like a darker color. No, that's just straight up Eevee ears. Hold on. No, it's not. What am I talking about? That's Eevee's tail. Solution? More. Except these ones don't necessarily have to be ears. They can be like horns, I guess. Whoop. Like that, you know? I think this design actually really works. Just a normal type. Is this guy fluffy and downy, or does he have like glabrous mammal-like skin? Or is he rice textured since he is onigiri? I don't know. I imagine he's like Jigglypuff, whatever Jigglypuff is. Because then he'll be able to enter rice ball mode. Uh... Whoop. Whee! His mouth is just like really big. Whoop, whoop. You know? Do you take music requests? So it depends on if the music comes back copyrighted when I use the YouTube copyright checker. Woo! And then I guess he could wag his tail back and forth as well. He kind of like wags the tail back and forth, and his horns can go like here. And the ears. The Gensokyo the gods loved from Toho 10. Gensokyo, sorry. Give me 1 second. Is this an attack animation or a battle idol? This will be like when he's attacking, because his mouth is like it like shows a mirror. Hold on. This song appears to be copyright free. Okay, sick. So when you mean that song request, do you mean this one? Is this the song you mean? Okay. We can play it. It's a Toho national anthem. I know someone who's like really into Toho, so I'm like somewhat familiar with it. I have the sound font for Toho in my music program. Well, you would be the second person that I know that's really into Toho. All I know is it has the trumpet, the Toho trumpet, that Toby Fox stole. Because I think Toby Fox also likes, Toho. The Zumpets, yeah. But yeah, I imagine he'd wag his tail back and forth like a watch. And that would be like his status move, you know? Let's see here. I'm honestly happy to settle for this design. I think it works. I think it gets the job. I think it gets the job done. We would just need to color it. What colors would he be? He wouldn't be pink, would he? Boop. I should have duped this thing before I started, like, drawing on it. Because I think I want his tail to be, like, very dark blue. Whee! Okay. With maybe, like, a golden kind of, like a golden brown for the highlights. I kind of imagine him with that color palette. Why the blue and yellow tail? I don't know. I just imagine the tail being blue when I drew it. And then we could do something like that. Honestly, I'm just experimenting. Maybe not this orange, by the way. Maybe it would be something a little brighter. Like whatever color we end up making the ears, perhaps. Boop. Kind of that color scheme. I play Schrodinger's Back in Echo from Dr. Latency's Freak Report. Schrodinger. Fucking Echo from Dr. Latency's Freak Report. This. It's technically Toho. Let's check the copyright status. Copyright free, yippee! I'm assuming it's this one. I think I've heard this song before. Okay, maybe this is a late edition. Hear me out here. It's a good song. Aye! Can I have a smaller brush, please? Whoop. I don't know, this is just the kind of vibes this guy gives to me. I don't know. And then when he's going sicko mode... Wait, I should be using, this color. My bad. Woo! Whoop. How to get in. Hi Timgra, welcome in. How are you doing today? Whoop. Hold on, I should clean this up. There we go. Oops. Just like that. Okay. Boop. Boop. Doing good. That's good to hear. We're designing whatever this thing is today. Still don't have a name for it, by the way. Okay, now do Hartman's Yokai Girl. I'm just gonna have to, like, make a playlist of all this stuff eventually. Except, I use YouTube to do music on stream, and YouTube playlists are, like, annoying. Uh, boop. Oh, it's your theme. Copy link address. Check copyright status. I gotta do name it Pinkle. This is actually my theme. The ops made it for me. Guys, this is Koishi's theme. Alright, I'm gonna just put this pink right here so I can color pick it easier. Same deal with this. And this. Here's the color palette we're working with. How'd it get in? What do you mean? Its feet kind of look like cinnamon rolls. True. Boo 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 boo. And then it's got its, you know, it's gotta have these. Boop. Okay, started with onigiri, moved to strawberry, and end on cinnamon rolls. Just make a food Pokemon already. There's already a food Pokemon. Its name is Barbekion. We don't need another food Pokemon. We have Barbekion. He's literally a master chef. He's like Gordon Ramsay in Pokemon form. And he gets just as angry, too. Okay. Hold on. I need the mouth to be a very specific set of colors. Name it Cimmeral or Cimmeral. You know what's crazy? We already have a Pokemon that's based off of like a cinnamon roll, and its name is Nougat. How do I want to do this? Maybe I make the Shelby. Okay. Let me find the file. Is it this? There he is. Nougat. That's Nougat. And it's another reason why I don't want to make whatever this is a psychic type, because this thing's a psychic type, you know? Maybe I start with a smaller brush. Instead on your shelf. Okay. I'm not gonna read that chat message. Name it Junior. Maybe not that shade of purple. Maybe I like this shade of purple. Yeah, I like that better. Woo, 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 woo. Name it Frank Leon. Throw them a curveball. Yeah, this is Frank. It's my new Pokemon, Frank. Woo! And we can do like this color here. Don't worry. As someone who designed my own hair, I'm good at designing psychedelic colors. Oh, you can do like a you know? And it just shows you, like, your reflection, I guess. Woo! Here we go. Excuse me. And then also, we can't forget the little yellow that's here. You know? Can you put Oriental Dark Fight from Toho 9 now on? Hold on. First, I'm going to do that. Oriental Dark Flight. Wow, it's just showing them to me instantly. Alright. Once again... Oh, it's Marisa's theme. I know Marisa. Boo-doo boo boop boop boo doo doo. Boop. Boop. I really do need to make like a stream playlist because I've just been using like a public like playlist for the longest time. Like forever. So I need to come up with my own list of songs that are non-copyrighted, and also at least a little bit Pokemon related. Yeah, excuse me. Well, we got this thing. What does it evolve and do now? If this is the baby, what's the adult? This thing definitely learns, like, bite and stuff. But it also definitely learns, like... I don't know, actually. I think this works fine for a single stage. It does, but I want it to evolve. And again, the colors might end up changing. I don't actually know if the colors are gonna stay like this or if I'm gonna make them different. We can at least, like, see what there is to, like, develop on in terms of an evolution. Boop. Boop. Oh, wrong layer. Don't apply. We're gonna go to this layer, and then do that, and then do this. If I can remember what the controls are. There we go. Okay. There we go. Excuse me. Like, maybe... Put on Where's Bustling Marketplace now from Toho 8. But this song's only 1/3 of the way over. I'll put that one on next, after this one's over. Like, an evolution could look like this. Fine. Hey, you requested it. I'm gonna play it all the way through. And if it's a 10-minute song, then so be it. Toho 9's a very fast-paced song. The original song is like less than a minute. The Toho stuff I know most about, or rather the Toho boss that I know the most about, goes, I think their name is like Clown Piece. And they like summon the moon, and you have to like fight while the moon is like orbiting around them or something, or maybe that's their ult. I don't know. From Toho 15. I don't know what Toho game it's from. I'll be completely honest there. I just know they wear, like, a lot of American memorabilia for no reason. Whoop. Hold on, I'm gonna redo this ear. One Piece wears an American flag purely because it pisses off the Lunarians. It's a long story. Alright, fair enough. I feel like same eyes should work. Whoop. When's the Toho stream? We can make the Toho stream like a follower goal. The eyes should get a third line. True. I don't know why you made it a cow necessarily, but it's neat. I don't know. I feel like the ears needed to like floop downward, I feel like. And then its horns just grew. Hello? I want to make the ears a bit more rabbit-like. The heaps of Pokemon have rabbit's ears and nothing animal about them, like Cinderace. You mean, like, kind of like this? Whoop. Now he just looks like Azrael. They could be floppy, but then spring back up for the attack. Actually, see, I drew it this, and then I realized that this is Azrael. This is Ralsei. I'm drawing Ralsei. I can't do the floopy ears. That's literally just Ralsei. Thank you for the suggestion, though. I appreciate it. I appreciate the suggestion, and I liked it until I realized what I was doing. Whoop. Alright, next Toho song, I guess. Hold on, what was it called? Bustling Marketplace. Ho... Ho... Oh, where is the bustling marketplace now? Where is that bustling marketplace now? From Toho 18. Boop. 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 Copyright free. Yippee! This seems like the right one, right? This is Shimada's Theo. She's my wife, so don't touch. You can look though. Don't worry, I don't go after taken people. That's just not nice. I feel like the ears need to fall closer to the sides of his, like, kind of like that. Also, I realize this is bothering me. I don't know why. They kind of just built, like, blobs. Whoop. He kind of built like Pochita. Not even lying. He kind of built like Pochita. I can't forget the tail in the back. And I'd say in terms of scale, the tails are around about the same size on both of them. Excuse me. No offense to the guy, but is definitely getting an Eviolite. That's fine. He's like a weird dog creature thing. Whoop. You know? And I can change the pink to be more evolution. That makes sense. Just think about it. Where's my brush? There we go. Hello? Bruh. Boop. Because it occurred to me the other day that we don't have any pink Pokemon. Like, almost at all. I was just thinking, can you put on UN Own was hurt from Toho 6? I've heard that Toho 6 is the best Toho game. Is that true? Boop. Who did you hear that from? I don't know. What do you think is the best Toho game? I guess I should be asking the expert. Toho 6 is a very old game and it really lacks polish. It's a fine enough game, but I don't think it's the best. Or a good entry point for the series. Fair enough. Oh, you know what I forgot? I forgot to add these. Nah. Whoop. I like Toho 9, I think it's really unique and super fun with a friend. I also like Toho 11 because it's a real test of skill and one of the harder games in the series. There's something for everyone though. In terms of fighting games, I like Hopeless Masquerade because the art is so good. Fair enough. I think this one should have patterns. Hear me out. Woo! I think it needs more to set it apart from the other, its pre-evolution. And this will be a normal type you'll be able to find, like, pretty early on. It's like your Whismer, you know? Whoop. Like that. Excuse me. Boop. I might consider making these like a lighter blue as they go down. Or maybe just a lighter blue in general. Boop, boop, boop. And then from a side view, we can do a side view, I guess. We can do a side view of both. Side view of the first one looks like... Whoop. Kind of like this. Boop, boop. That's kind of what the side view would look like. You know? And then for the evolved one, it would be much bigger, first of all. Maybe not that big. Maybe like... Whoop. I got an idea for a Figmon. You know how Dragapult is a Diplocalus stealth jet that will shoot its babies as missiles? What about a Convergent Evo that's more like a Diplomachus submarine that shoots babies as torpedoes? That would be interesting. I'm always a fan of shooting babies as torpedoes. In fiction. Like, the front part is a submarine hull with the babies and the torpedo tubes, and the back half is just a squid with a squid head and arms. That would be sick. Get on it, Koichi. You can do it. Whoop. And its ears could go like here. Horns. Whoop. You know? This is a long song. It's 15 minutes long exactly. Anyway, what do we think for these two? I think they're pretty cool. Alright, is there any other song requests before I go back to our regular playlist? I think I kind of dropped, you think I kind of dropped the ball at the end? UN Owen was her. Oh yeah, you said something about that. Yes. UN Owen was her. Why is the second fill-in UN Owen was her Ronald McDonald? Hello? Why was that like... Why was that... Oh, I know this song. I've heard this song like a million times. I honestly think it should be on one stage. It's cute, it's marketable, looks like a mascot, and then it turns into a cow. It turns into a creature, that's for sure. All pipes have to go somewhere, though. It has to go somewhere. Like, imagine if your rival has one of these things. Maybe... Okay. I'm gonna try something a little bit weird. We'll see if it sticks. Oh, that's not at all what I wanted. The Ronald McDonald remix is history. I don't think the mirror thing will work as well with the cow either. Boop. Just you wait. I'll make it awesome. Maybe I make these yellow. Hold on. This song just changed drastically. What the heck? I was not expecting that. I mean, I can tell it's the same song, but like, it's very different. Unexpected jump scare, yeah. Whoop. My ears. Wait, and then I could do this? And then, whoop. Like that. And it can just be, it can just like wrap around into the tail. I do like that better, I think. And here's my idea for what he'd look like when he's yelling in his big form. Okay, I have a fun fact about this song, actually, and it's a fun fact about where I first heard it. And I want to know if this makes you upset, okay? So, the first time I ever heard this song was in a ROM hack for Super Mario World. You might have heard of it. You ever heard of Diagonal Mario World? That was the first place I ever heard this song. Because they used it as like the boss fight theme, and that does upset me. These are its horns right here. They're kind of like pointed backward. Whoop. Alright, music's go play Toho. Alright, any other song requests? Because if not, I'm gonna go back to the other thing. Boop, 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 boop. Satori made in Third Eye. Okay. It's weird not having music play during a stream, like in these in-between parts. It feels very, very weirdly silent. Is that just me? That might be just me, but it feels very... empty. And not right. Woo! Woo! Satori's fight is so cool. I'll take your word for it. And then the ears can go like, meh. I have this sound font for the Zrumpet or whatever you said. I have it somewhere on my computer. Whoop. And then this guy can also wag his tail, but I don't feel like I need to choreograph that as much. Boop. In Toho 11, the game she's in, there are 2 playable characters, and each of them have 3 partners that change from shot type from what you pick on. Satori is a Satori yokai, so she can read people's minds, and when you're fighting her, if she attacks you, it's actually your partner used the last game because canonically reading your memories and copying their spell card. Interesting. I don't know why I read it like that, but interesting. I think that it's like, it's like that one fight in that one Metal Gear game where you have to like plug your controller into the other port. It was a little mean, but it's fine. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Am I stupid? Yes, I am. Okay, cool. Just checking. I drew all this on the wrong layer. It's fine though. I don't know. I give things a voice when I read them. When it's like a long spiel, I give them a very explainy voice when they're explaining things like this, and I don't know what I'm trusting the words they say because they seem like they know what they're talking about. Whoop. Boop. The fun thing with normal types is I can make them whatever colors I want. Also, this song kind of sounds like the prophecy from Deltarune. Like, I hear the prophecy from Deltarune in this song. And it makes me wonder if this inspired it in any way. Whoop. This song is from 2008, right? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's like, this song sounds like it could have inspired the Deltarune music, because that is like around the time frame when Toby Fox would have come up with the idea for Deltarune, like a few years after this came out, you know? I mean, there are a lot of songs on Undertale and Deltarune that are kind of just Toho songs. Yeah. And I'm like, maybe this is the one that inspired the prophecy theme. Okay. I'm adding sound effects to this because it seems whooshy. Whooshy and mystical in nature. And then we can add like a and like a excuse me. And then we just kind of add a whoop. And then boop. Zun and Toby Fox did a collab and made a song called You and Owen is a Hero, and as a remix of You and Owen was her in a battle against a true hero, and you will play it next. Okay. Excuse me. But yeah, that's what this guy's mouth open form looks like. Shut up. And then I can just kind of Boop, boop. Ah! I feel like the evolution feels a little uninspired, but I think it's fine. I think it works for what it is. Oops. Whoop. I'm gonna shrink this guy down a little bit. Put him like here-ish. Boop. And then over here. Whoop. And then I can take this guy. Put him down here. Can I go you? Not what? I don't know what that means. And I'm a little afraid of it. Boop. No, you cannot call me that. You're being cute, Jesus. I will not be anybody's father figure. I'm sorry. I do not have the qualities to be a father figure. Boop. Okay. He still gives Pochita vibes. Okay. You and Owen is hero. This one might be copyrighted. Honestly, I don't know if it's copyrighted or not. But it's made by somebody else and it's recent. Oh, it's not copyrighted. This one's by okay. I guess we can check it out. You and Owen was hero. Is this the one? I'm assuming this is the one. I'm gonna, yeah, that's the one. Okay. Alright, now we need names for these things. These ugly idiots. What do we name them? Boop. It was legendary time because Toby talked about meeting or collabing with Zun for a while. Oh, okay. Also, do you know he speaks fluent Japanese? Yes, I did know that. He was at a dinner with Masahiro freaking Sakurai. I saw that picture. I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, names. Okay, so what does this guy do? Ay, 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 ay. Okay, we're gonna create a new layer. I guess that's why Sans is in Smash then. Well, here's the thing. That picture of Toby Fox with Sakurai at like a dinner with like a ton of other people came out like last year. But yeah, they have been friends for a while, I guess. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, this guy who came from like a basement, who had like a fever dream one night in like 2012 or 2011, went on to create one of the most popular like games of the decade in order to learn how to code. Like that wasn't even his main project. It just like he was making it to learn how to make a game. And it's still like one of the most popular games of that decade, of the 2010s. And then he comes back 3 years later, and he's like building a whole team, and he's making another game, which was his actual original idea. And now he has like a fast forward to now, he has like a full team, and he's like he's like besties with like all of the top tiers at Nintendo. It's insane. Anyway, more music. We can do like one more Toho. We can do like one more Toho if you have one more Toho. Do we have one more Toho, or are we going back to Pokemon? One more Toho. I mean, we're almost done anyway, so it's like Lullaby of Deserted Hell. Okay. Ah! Wow. This strange theme from Toho 11, and it's very nice. I'm surprised none of these are copyrighted, because like usually it's like really hard for me to find like non-copyrighted stuff for stream. So I will definitely be borrowing a lot of these. This one is very lax with copyright. I will note that down in my little mental binder. Hence why there's so many Toho fan games. Fair enough. Alright, while this plays, we will take the qualities of this guy. What does he do? He hypnotizes. Right? He steals qualities from he steals stuff from other Pokemon and uses it against them. He could almost be a dark type, honestly. If he wasn't bright pink. Excuse me. Do you think he yells? I wonder, I feel like he might yell a little bit. He's very much built like Pochita, and I can't get over how he's built like Pochita. At least the evolution. How do you balance your Fakemon? You seem at least kind of knowledgeable about that stuff. So what I do is I take like the average stats for Pokemon's like base stats and whatnot, right? For single state, for like the first stage evolutions, that's usually around 300 BST. For middle stages, that's like 400 to 500 is usually that ballpark. And then for the third stage, it's like 450 to like 530, you know? And you can, that's like the basic guidelines, right? And if you have like a Pokemon that doesn't evolve, it'll be somewhere in the 400s. And if you have like a 2-stage, it'll start at like 290 and go to like 450 or 460 or 490. And if you have a 3-stage, usually the 3rd stage is like 500 or higher in terms of base stat total. And then it's just a matter of distributing those stats between all of the stats, which you can pretty much just like do whatever you want. I will say though, it is possible to make like some stat distributions are just like objectively better than others. Like if you have really high speed and really high attack, I'll just get me to come up with the stats and move pool for mine then. I have to make so many move pools for my own, so there's gonna be a line, but you know. What else does this guy do? Frank. He can probably learn like a ton of moves. Like this guy's like mainly, he can do this, sure. But like he's mainly going to be learning like takedown, double edge, and then like he's going to be like an HM slave, or he's going to just like, you're gonna teach him TMs, like he's gonna like, you're gonna teach him Thunderbolt because you forgot to get an electric type. Trace? Trace could be interesting as a hidden ability. Like he could get Synchronize as his main ability, and then Trace as a hidden ability. That could be cool. And then, like, at low level, he'd get, like, Astonish and Hypnosis and, like, Supersonic. And then as he levels up, he gets, like, maybe a couple... He gets, like, Bite, maybe Crunch, if I'm feeling Crunch, but I might not. And then, like, Double Edge. Maybe Uproar, because he feels like he would Scream and use Uproar. Except that wouldn't make sense, because he puts you to sleep. So, maybe it depends. Because Execute can get both Hypnosis and Uproar, so... I don't know. It all just depends. How do you decide on their power level? How do you decide, okay, this guy's gonna be really good, or do you just make whatever thematically works out in balance based, or what? The way I make Fakemon is I look at a Pokedex and I look at a hypothetical region and I say, okay, so I like mentally map out where you would find every Pokemon in like a hypothetical region. Hi, how are you? Welcome in. I like map out where you would find all the Pokemon in a hypothetical region, and I say, okay, this section of the region feels like it's missing like a couple of Pokemon that I could add in, and like here's the archetypes of Pokemon that are missing, and so here's like the kind of thing I'm gonna make, and I kind of just balance their power for like that point in the game, you know? Or like that point in the region. So naturally you're going to find like the super strong Pokemon at like the end. This guy, he's very much giving like BST 450. Like he's not giving like strong Pokemon, because if the starters in their fully evolved form are BST 530, this guy is giving like 450, 440, maybe 460 if I'm feeling generous. Alright, back to Pokemon OST. He's honestly giving Porygon. Because he's going to be earlier game. You're going to be able to find this thing earlier in the game than you will be able to find Bounky, right? Bounky is like later game. You're good. You actually posted your first ever video today? Ooh, good for you. Nice. That's always scary, posting like the first video to a channel. It's kind of terrifying. I've done it a couple times, but I mean, I guess maybe I've gotten used to it, but I remember when I first started like uploading to YouTube, I'm like, are people gonna like this? Am I gonna like dox myself accidentally? But it's it's always a relief when you get it done, you know? Speaking of videos, when's that tutorial? I am working on it. I am still trying to get my voice completely back, because I still have a little bit of a cough. But, progress is being made. I worked on the script and whatnot, because I'm not entirely done with the script. I'm kind of doing it as I go. I mean, I kind of have a deadline for the tutorial series. Because the Pokemon that I modeled in the tutorial series is the one that comes directly after the Vampira line, so I have until I finish the Vampira line to, like, finish the tutorial series. So that's basically the time frame of when it's gonna be out. So maybe like in a month. It's scary, you only have like 2 views though. Well, yeah, everybody's gotta start out somewhere. If you keep at it, I'm sure you will find success, no matter how long it takes. Leon started out goated. No, I did not. Did you see the first ever VODs on my YouTube? They sucked. I did not know what I was doing. The only thing I had going for me was this model, which I made like a month prior to me like starting streaming, and then I don't know. That implies that I know what I'm doing now. Okay, that's fair take, but also how many times per stream do I say I don't know what I'm doing? Posture check. I have pretty good posture, I would say. Excuse me. Cough drop time. Probably like 2. Yeah. Hold on. I have an idea for a name. What? Anyway. A reminder to send you shareholders your Bat Furry idea. I'm just gonna screen cap that message and send it to them again. I just sent it to them again. You're doing them so dirty here. I mean, hey, they're more of an anthro expert than I am, so like. Let's see. I have no ideas for names. What did they say? They're probably asleep right now. Like, they work really early in the morning, so it's like... They're probably in bed. Did they say anything about it before? At first they're just like, what do you want me to do? And I'm like, figure it out. And they're like, they looked at me confused. And now I'm just gonna keep telling them until they do it, basically. I'm like joining your side where I'm the one, I'm also being like, hey, do this. Figuring out his crazy work. First, I'm not doing that. I'm providing great ideas and themes. Wow, I cannot spell. Okay, we're gonna look at some words and we're gonna... I have his name. I figured out his name. His name's Imini. Let me write it in actually the correct size. You like Bruce more? Well, that's what the nickname feature's for, baby. Boos. So if he's a mini, what should the evolved one be? Can you make the shiny white and green so it looks like Onigiri when it screams? Sure. Mega. Because I took imitate and I combined it with mini, so it's mini. Large. Huge. How about... How about... Since you say cow... His name is Emulet. And I hope that's not already a word. Oh. As in, like, emulate, you know? The closest word to emulate is immolate, which is kind of, you know, I'm sure Koishi would emulate, but that's neither here nor there. You're not that mean. Alright, well, I have to say, I very much like this line. I think it's goofy. I think it's a creature. I think it's based on a not animal, which is good. It was not based on a cow. It just kind of ended up looking like one question mark, questionably. It is definitely a status inflictor. Puts you to sleep. It does other annoying things. It's been remarkably nice considering you laugh at all my ideas. I don't laugh at all your ideas. It's definitely a 2-stage normal type. You could probably find this thing in most habitats. And it's also slightly annoying. I think this hits all the marks. And I'm pretty happy with it. It kind of gives Bruxish a little. I can kind of see it with like the spots and whatnot. Whoop. I'm just gonna select all this and move it to a place with like nonsensical color pattern. I always like making Fakemon with just stupid color patterns. It's just most mons don't allow for it because it either looks ugly or it just doesn't fit the typing. And with normal types, I can kind of forego that, and it's really nice. Alright, well. I need to finish this last bullet point. With there we go. This is weird and creepy. It reminds me a lot of Muna. It's weird and creepy and I probably don't want to look at it. Have you thought about signature moves as such? Yes. There was a gimmick where we wanted to give every single Evo Lion its own signature move. And I've only made the ones for the starters so far. But we have ideas for the other ones. Or some of the other ones. We didn't get very far, because it's hard to make that many, like, completely unique moves, you know? But I'm sure we'll get there eventually. That sounds tremendously stupid, I know. That's the point. Why don't I just move this upward? Hold on. There we go. Here's the reference sheet. Oh, you gotta wait 8 years for this dang bet furry. Alright, well. I won't try to add to that in this stream, at least today. So, with that being said, that is going to mark the end of today's stream, actually. I want to thank everybody who joined in today. We went from 0 to a full-on design today, which is honestly, like, pretty fast progress for me, at least. And, posture check, you did that already, and I'm still sitting upright. If you're on YouTube and you enjoyed today's stream, consider liking and subscribing. And if you're on Twitch and you're not following, please consider following, because we're getting close to affiliate on Twitch, and we're gonna need to push for it. But I'm gonna need to like promote that. And yeah, if you want to know about the Pokemon short series, if you want to know when I go live, Twitter. If you want to see me shitpost on Twitter, go follow me there. And I'll see you guys on Friday. I will see you next stream. Yep. Bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.